Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and to my right is...
I am Rody John, and to my left is...
Amy!
In today's show, we talk with Josh Sowers, the voice of the UTA Mavericks, about doing behind-the-scenes work for the Dallas Cowboys, FC Dallas, some of his favorite UTA Mavs moments, and his sense of game day style.
We speak with Travis Paterson from PY1 about the Through the Echo show and their new show, Stella, PY Nights, and what brought the pyramid from Montreal to Arlington.
And finally, we sit down with some of the proprietors of downtown Arlington's coolest bar, For Kahunas, to talk about their complex drink recipes, the origins of Tiki culture, and why Arlington was the right fit.
So what did y'all get up to this week? What did we do last week, Amy?
We had a very busy
Super busy
Saturday where we started the morning at the Consciousness
Conference.
So that was interesting. That was a brand new thing, new to Arlington. We were only there for a minute, though, because then we had to jump across to...
We went to Fish Creek
cleanup.
Cleanup.
And we brought the kids.
Yes, our children went with us. We bummed around for a little bit and picked up some trash. We picked up a whole mess of styrofoam, and
yeah,
there's a lot of that out there, so we did that.
And it was a great turnout.
It was. There was a lot of people there. They had it felt very lively. Like, people were definitely there, like, doing this thing. We got thanked by some of the runners on the trails, and like, we were throwing bags of trash to other people who needed them, like across the creek. Like, it was a really cool, like, community event, and I'm really glad that we went. And for what little time we were there, I really would like to spend more time, but we were so busy because then we had to get to
the farmers market at New Main is where it's at now, the Pantego Farmers Market. And there, me and Haley participated in a soup challenge that unfortunately only had 2 competitors. So next time, sign up because both of them were very good. It was a really close competition.
It was like 1 vote.
Yeah, 1 point off. We had to recount several times to make sure we got it right.
It's like the 2000 election up in here.
Yeah, it really was. There were hanging
Stakes
chads.
were that high.
George Bush had to call his cousin. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, his cousin works at New Main. Anyway, so that was fun. It was good. A good time. Always a good time at the farmer's market.
It really was. And, so thanks, Jennifer Hurley, for putting that together. And next time they have a little competition, sign up because it's a fun way to meet new people and try new things.
I want in next time.
You're in.
Done.
So what else did you do, Rhodey? What did you get up to this week?
Amy and I interviewed the PY1 people on Wednesday night, and then
Which is coming up later.
Later in the episode. And then I stayed around for the Through the Echo show, and it was a fully submergent show, and it was absolutely amazing.
Were you on a beanbag? They said you sit on beanbags?
Not in that show, no. I think it was the other show, the Stella show, because it's more for kids in the family. And then, we were just in chairs. You could either sit up or you can lay back in it. I stayed in the back row. I'm curious, as we talk to Travis later, about sitting in the front row, checking out different experiences.
Yeah, different perspectives on that.
Yeah.
So that's a recommendation for Arlington while it's here?
Oh, without a doubt. And then you and I are going to go see a PY night show. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. It's basically a nightclub atmosphere. Apparently people dress up. I'm planning on going dressed up. So it's a limited time that it's going to be here.
Right.
So if you want to check this out, do it now.
Through the end of February is February 29th is your last PY night show. And check them out all through the week. Here with Josh Sowers, the voice of the UTA Arlington Mavs. How are you today?
What's going on, man? I'm doing all right. How are you? It's game day.
It is game day.
It is game day. It is, absolutely.
So you're the play-by-play broadcaster and video producer for the UTA Arlington Athletic Department. This includes everything from doing play-by-play for 4 different sports to creating all the video content. How do you do it all?
It's there's a lot of no sleep if you'll do that. And February, what we're in right now, it's pretty much the busiest month because now you have crossover seasons with baseball and softball coming into play, and you're getting ready for those sports all while taking care of basketball duties as well. So there's a lot of scheduling conflicts, and you're running around trying to figure out who's going to do what. But it's a fun time.
So when you're not working for the UTA athletic department, you're working camera for Dallas Cowboys and FC Dallas. Do you prefer working behind the camera or behind the microphone?
It's a little bit of both. And I was thinking walking over here that I may not be great at one thing, but it is nice to be good at a few things. Maybe
for sure.
And actually, last night I worked Texas Legends games,
Cool.
the G League affiliate of the Dallas Mavericks, and there was the Northern Arizona Suns had a top 10 dunk yesterday, a little reverse, and it was on SportsCenter's top 10. It's like, hey, that's my shot. I'm running game camera. Hey, look at that. So, it is a lot of fun. I've met a lot of contacts in the DFW area. Really, it all started. I interned with the Cowboys in my senior year in 2013, and met the camera folks and was nice enough, worked hard enough that they said, hey, we need you to come work this gig, and I'm carrying batteries at the Cowboys, or I'm rolling cable, and I've been bumped up to camera several times, and that's led to other opportunities. I also work at FC Dallas as well on their game days, and that's if you've never been out there, that's a lot of fun as well.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
But especially here in Arlington too, just everything's growing around and lots of events. Obviously the Cotton Bowl and Cowboys Classic with Alabama. It seems like Alabama's in that game every year.
It does, right? It does seem that way.
So many different events, and just trying to stay busy, just trying to make a living wage, if you will.
Yeah.
So what's been some of your favorite moments of your career, personally and professionally?
There's definitely been a few. Whenever I was working with the Cowboys, I think the Final Four, when the Final Four came to town in 2014, that was one of the wildest weekends I can remember, just because we had to be there for about 5 days getting ready and then watching the teams and everything. And then there was one moment, Baylor in Kentucky, I believe this was 2013. They played they built a court at the stadium, at AT&T Stadium. They had a women's game and a men's game. The women's game goes into 4 overtimes. Whoa. And this was during that giant ice storm early December of 2013. And I think the final score was 133 to 131, highest scoring women's game in history. And the men have to play after that. Well, ESPN's covering the game, and that game was supposed to start at 7. Well, they're starting about 10 o'clock after that one's over. Meanwhile, there's ice, and all these Baylor fans are ice. How are we going to get home? Because they play Texas the next day down in Waco. And it was a wild night, one you'll remember, I guess. But and as far as UT Arlington goes, whenever we won the regular season back in 2016, 2017 for the Sun Belt Conference, and then we unfortunately didn't make the NCAA tournament, but we did go to the NIT, and we made a run in the NIT. We go on the road, kind of an underdog. We beat BYU in Provo. Extremely tough game. Actually ran away with it, really.
Yeah, I was about to say, I watched that game. It was a lot of fun.
Our walk-on Scott Muirhead was able to get in the game, so it was a good time for everyone. Came back, we beat Akron in the quarterfinals, and the College Park Center was pretty much sold out. And that's one of the few times it's been sold out since our homecoming against Oklahoma back in 2013. And the next game against Cal State Bakersfield, tough game, lost it. If we won that game, we go to Madison Square Garden. Yeah. So left a little bit on the table, but I think that's one of my top moments from my UTA basketball career, if you will.
Now, you're a man who wears blazers from all the way from plaid to orange to Christmas lights, and then you also have fun socks. How do you describe your style, and where do you kind of get your inspiration?
Just be different. Yeah. I don't like wearing black dress socks.
Thank you.
I just don't. I don't do it. And the one pair I have, in case I have to wear them for some corporate public event, if you will, has orange tips on them. I can't do it. So just be fun with it, and you can get creative in the socks, and that kind of speaks your personality. And I guess the career I've gone. I was a quiet kid growing up. I mean, at 4 or 5 years old, my mom had to take me to speech therapy because I wouldn't talk. And then here we are now 20 years later doing this.
And that's what you
do. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how that works out. But just speaks your personality. And the Sun Belt guys, the broadcasters I'm friends with, we're all good people. We all bounce off of each other really well. And I thought, hey, we don't have a football team, so I'll bring a little bit more flavor whenever the basketball team rolls around. There's a website out there that has some cheap ones, so that's where I go.
There are quite a bit of fun socks out there now.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. And I've got way too many.
I feel like...
As do I.
It's, me too. Me too. I think for men, socks are kind of like a... you can get wild with socks, and everyone is kind of on board when you do. Like, oh, pizza socks, I'm in. Everyone's like, these are fun. These are so fun.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Christmas time. I don't know if it's professional to wear these at games, but, it's little Santa hats, and underneath is, beer mugs. And on top of it. So, I wear those all the time.
So we have a recurring segment on the show called the Tournament of Toppings, where we're trying to find out the best pizza place in Arlington. So what is your favorite pizza place in Arlington?
Well, that's a tough one because as a student here back in the day, that's when old school really got going.
Right.
And I've spent many nights at old school, and I continue to spend some nights at old school. And that pizza, I think that's actually the last pizza I got that I carried out. So I think I'm going to have to vote old school. Honorable mention to Nizza Pizza over there off Cooper Street. And I know I'm forgetting a bunch of places, but I think my number one pick would probably have to be old school.
That is one of our favorites and also a very guest favorite for sure.
Yeah, Buffalo Chicken, big fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what can fans look forward to from the athletic department moving forward?
Well, the basketball team, it's been an interesting season, and I know this is probably a little time sensitive, but last night we had an absolute dagger to the heart. With,
I'm telling you,
with the Raging Cajuns knocking one in with 2.7 seconds left. But it's still a very good team. The coaches, they believe this team they want to play their best basketball in February and March, and the calendar just turned to February. And the team was great last year. They're still finding their way this year, but I firmly believe this is a team that is capable of winning a Sun Belt Conference championship, if not in the Sun Belt Conference tournament, at least making a run, because that's what it all comes down to. And then as far as the rest of the department goes, you got softball and baseball coming up as well. Baseball was picked first in the West Division.
Yeah, I just read that the other day.
Yeah, they had a really good year last year. Ended in more heartbreaking fashion against Coastal Carolina in the tournament. We hit a grand slam in the top of the ninth inning to extend it to extra innings, and they walked off in the bottom of the 10th. Just absolutely heartbreaking. And then softball as well. They're picked to finish third in the conference, which it's always going to be Louisiana Lafayette. They're ranked top 10 in the country. But last few years, UTA softball has really, really been picking up. So a lot of fun events planned, and of course golf and track going on as well. But we're on the up right now as far as athletics goes.
I would say, like, I've been to a couple of games recently, and I plan to go to a couple more. Like, I've been thoroughly impressed with the teams, both men and women's basketball. They play hard. I'm excited to go to more of them and be more involved in them. And I wish other people in the city would as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a fun experience, and can't forget about the Lady Mavs as well. They won the regular season championship last year, and they've got a couple transfers in this year. Marie Benson's one of them, and she's been Player of the Week a few times, and they have high expectations this year. They're playing some really good basketball. But they are fun events, and I've been going to the events since I was a student doing student radio with UTARadio.com. From 2010, 2011, back at Texas Hall. I know we talked about that a little bit off the air there a little bit. But, the fan engagement, and, you talked about Blaze with the kids.
Blaze.
So fun videos and just a great environment, and it's relatively cheap.
It's super cheap.
Yeah, you try to go to TCU or SMU and heck, even North Texas, but that's too far north for me, really. Yes, but it's cheap. It's good mid-major basketball. These guys are going to play hard, and you may not get your Big 12 teams, your SEC teams coming in, but everybody plays for a reason. There's still some tough teams coming in, and it's a great experience, especially for the kids to come see some basketball, and it's right down the road.
Absolutely.
Sure. Now, if people want to follow your adventures and what you're doing on social media, how do they go about doing that?
I guess Twitter's the best, at Josh Sowers, Sours, the non-traditional spelling, I guess, if you will. And then, of course, Facebook and Instagram a little bit as well. But Twitter's definitely the work account, if you want to put it that way, as far as keeping up with the teams and everything. But, and then, of course, UT Arlington Athletics on Facebook, UTA Mavs, pardon me, on Twitter and Instagram.
There we go.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We look forward to – I can't go to all the games, but I do enjoy listening to them when I can't go. We'd love to have you back sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun interacting with y'all on social media. Love a little hype every now and then. So this is awesome, and this is a great setup y'all have, and looking forward to seeing how y'all grow as well. And if you ever need tickets, you know who to call.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm trying to get Sourheads as his. For fans of him, fans of Josh,
my student when I did student radio at UTA Radio over there when I was getting my degree, my 1 hour show was called the Sour Hour.
Oh, there we go.
So I don't know how good it was, but it was that. So.
Well, become a Sourhead and follow him on Twitter and follow him on everything. So,
well, I appreciate it, guys.
No
Thank you all
problem.
for having me.
Thank you for coming.